This is my opinion, right? I think that humans cannot adjust to utopias. This is why utopia doesn't exist because we can't. It's like that Matrix scene, right? I think the Smiths were telling like, well, yeah, we have many versions, but you guys don't like it because it's too perfect. You guys can't live you want this grimy, this sort of imperfect world because that makes sense, because with AI, if everything is being replaced, if efficiency is kind of up to the max, then there's no efficiency to speak of. There's no longer needed for efficiency. Then how do you make money? Because see, how I see it is all economic input and output are arbitrage, like I said before,
Mhm.
is because of information asymmetry. But when AI can get that information to the same level, there's no arbitrage opportunity. You no longer can make money anymore. So money will have to be not mean anything. Like in the future, if AI are so sufficient at producing all these stuff, it means there's no longer an economy to speak of. You don't need money then. That will have to be the case for that to
Yeah,
be
all of these eventually, essentially, that it would have to be the utopia somehow needs to be already in perfect form. It has to
right.
appear in that perfect form for it to even be possible. But the
Because
way there seems to be, it doesn't seem to be there. It's impossible. It doesn't seem to be possible for humanity to survive on the way to utopia.
yeah, because the problem is people will be like, what will they do with their life? I know for myself, if I don't have nothing to do, I'm doing a lot of bad stuff to myself, like overindulging in stuff and no purpose, no sense of motivation. Like if that were
Well,
given to
that would
me,
be a
then
completely new, unprecedented environment. You would have to. So it's almost like if this happened like right now, you would literally be like, okay, what do I do now? You would have to reframe your
right.
whole existence, your goals, and everything. You would
Yeah.
have to consider, like, okay, what is there out right now? Where do I go?
Yeah.
Who do I speak to? What do I do? Because it's like a new game at that point, right? The
Right.
rules completely changed.
There has to be some kind of institution to be like, okay, so we're gonna give you some kind of occupation. It's not a job, but like you gotta if we're gonna
If you
find
want it, yeah.
right? There has to be an institution that does that. And it also means that money will no longer be a thing because that has to be. Because otherwise, if there is a need for money, then it means that the arbitrage opportunity has to be present. Otherwise, how do you make money?
You know what I would do? I think I know what I would do. I think I'd go study something. I'd go to university
Right.
for sure.
But the thing is, some people are like, they, I don't know, like their baseline thing is almost like they can't adjust to that kind of environment where they're like, they're not curious enough. They
Yeah.
don't want to put
Yeah,
in the hard
there
work.
will be all kinds of people for sure.
Right. They're just gonna waste away their life because it's like, well, yeah, if I don't have the work, then I have nothing. There's nothing that I want to do. There's nothing besides the whole pleasure seeking. That was it. They would be terrible for them, right?
But that's like, I think that homogeneous ultimate utopia in that sense is not possible because everybody is at their own stage of life. For some people, the partying and, substances, they can't get enough of that. But for some, they went through that and they've had enough and they literally like, okay, I'm done with that. I've had my fill. I'm not interested anymore. So everybody will have that for sure. But that
But
just
even
means
if
that everybody would still have to go through what they have to go in order to get sated, and get to the next thing.
yeah,
That's not something
even
you'd be able to regulate.
even if you have that, even if let's just say that's achievable, what's the transition look like? You can't just all of a sudden, okay, economy gone, no longer need money. You can't do that, right? There's no way that suddenly just in one instant you can just cut away the whole economy about oil, the need for oil, the
No,
production.
no, yeah,
You
no.
can't do it. So there has to be a transition, but how do you transition into that? Because some people will lose their job. They'll be so pissed off, so angry, they're gonna start
I think
violence.
that's what it looks like. Not no transitions has ever happened without, causing complete chaos and dysregulation. So yeah, some of us will have to
So it means there has to be a
go
world
through the
war.
grinder.
There had to be a world war, and enough people have to die until then they're like, yeah, okay, now you embrace the new paradigm because otherwise they're always going to be a loser in this battle, and some people will not. Imagine if you whole life you work at this thing, you have this knowledge about this specific field, and you're outdated now. So AI took your job, and if you're not sufficiently able to transition you know? If all you know is what you knew, then you can't find a new job.
It will be another case of the survival of the fittest, and the fittest being the one who can adapt the best. It will
Right.
be just that. So it's still evolution at play.